She shot to fame in the late 80s on a little island in the Caribbean, known for its music icons, amazing athletes, great food, and infectious collective culture. Reggae woman JC Lodge rang her way into the hearts and ears of all lovers of the beat, at home and overseas, with a big tune. But it was her cover of Charlie Bride's Someone Loves You Honey that first got her noticed there.
I want to share your life. Every minute, every day and night. And I just want you to know that whatever you do and wherever you go, remember someone loves you, honey. No matter what, just be my guide. Someone loves you, honey, more than anything in the world.
This was followed by hit after hit.
Woman, rap this what you preach. This bag of telephone talk, I'm dying for reach. Face to face we must meet, man. Yes, it was on the beach. I never know so long. We never came to settle. The rocks is at your service. I swear I was taking on a case. It's hardcore tonight. See, hope you can handle it.
I've been planning to see shadows falling days around me standing alone. Out on the street, anybody meets got a heartache of their own.
I first met JC as a young disc jockey on Irie FM in the early 90s. But then shortly after, she disappeared. As it is in life, roads veered and ventures took us both on separate paths.
Thank you for staying with us. We continue now with our Caribbean segment.
In a little while, we'll be hearing from Pablo Moses. After 57 years, we have yet another national pantomime.
Hello, Dr. Shaba. Sure. Just a second. It's for you. For me. Yes?
Kilometers. Average pace 7 minutes 57 seconds per kilometer.
It was upon my return to Jamaica to visit my ailing mother that I realized Ms. Lodge was still very much loved. I'd stopped for gas. She was being sung by the guy pumping the petrol. I'd visit the pharmacy, and there she was, on the speakers. So on my way back to Spain, I got to thinking, perhaps it was time to pay Ms. Lodge a visit, just to have an official catch-up.
Que nos juntábamos allí, uno era de Barcelona, o sea, estaba de cartero en Barcelona, el otro estaba en Burgos y estaba, había 8 sargentos.
This is Grandpa Duran, a sweet old man who often regales me with stories of his travels and life back in the day, when he was a jack of all trades and lived in Africa. It got me thinking, this journey we're on, this living, has a force which takes us far away from our original plans and to places we probably never thought we'd ever be. I'm a personal testament to that. And so are many Jamaicans.
Just had to chop down my banana plantation.
Our mark is seen in the furthermost regions of the world, and for reasons that are not always simple. So, after that dinner, I came up with the idea of KWB, of going in search of some of those people I had longed to see. I made Grandpa Duran a Christmas pie and started the project and my journey the very next night. First stop, London. First visit, JC.
Why didn't you call him back?
I quite like this one. I have a few more, but I think this is the one we should use. Yes, coffee please, thanks. But we can look at some others after the interview.
Of the good guys, better grab him fast, don't let him slide.
Hey, Kathy! Oh, lovely to see you. Oh my goodness. Oh, you're bringing goodies.
Yes.
Oh, typical Jamaican. Can't walk with it too long hand.
Well, I just thought I'd bring you a taste of home.
Oh, lovely. Come on in. I was just about to start doing some crafting. Okay.
I love your home.
Thanks. Come this way.
Wow. Nice.
Thanks. You had a nice trip?
It was good.
Yeah. It's not too long.
No, I slept through all the flights.
Oh, that's good. Watch your step here.
Thank you.
All right, so
Wow.
Make yourself at home.
So this is where you do all your magic.
Shall I get you something to drink?
Okay.
Do you want some wine?
That would be lovely.
Okay. Sit down.
Over in South London, one of Jamaica's Bond girls, Martine Beswick, was getting ready for her close-up. Jamaica has had the privilege of having all of 3 Bond women, not counting Naomi Harris, who, although has a Jamaican mother, was not born there, so perhaps it would be considered unfair to actually claim her. Martine also has another honorable feather in her cap. When it comes to being a Bond girl, she has appeared in not 1, but 2 Bond films in her time as an actress. Born in Port Antonio, Jamaica, this island beauty caught the eye of talent scouts in her teens and went on to star in many Hammer Studio films after her appearances in Bond. Now at 80, she spends most of her days tending to her garden and her beloved banana trees, the things that remind her most of home.
Okay. I think I've raked enough. Right. We have a bouquet of green. So we have a bouquet of green to put in our kitchen. Since my love, shall we start? Since I'm a huge fan of Italian food, I love to snack on Italian stuff, like prosciutto, which I kind of have like a little snackette, and I stick a little thing in there, and then I make sort of little hors d'oeuvres, actually. Hang on a sec. And along with that, I also love my mozzarella balls. It's giving me a bit of a hard time, this. It sure is delish. Okay. And then also I usually serve this also with some olives. And it's really behaving very badly. It's not coming apart, it's not coming together very well, because I am having a little bit of a problem. This is okay, as you can see, not terribly attractive, but it still tastes good. But by the time I put some mozzarella balls and some olives and some tomatoes, some lovely little.
There you go.
Thank you.
And there's some more in case you want to fill up, refill.
Okay.
I'm just going to put this on because I was about to do some painting, some decorating of one of my favourite little creatures, Dr. Bird. I'm doing some, I don't know if they're going to be pendants or brooches or what, but I just want to do them.
So listen, let's get to it. Lovers of JC Lodge are wondering, where you been?
Let me just close these doors because
Okay.
give myself a bit more room. Where have I been? Well, I've been in London since 2001 and been trying to do all the things that I do. You know, still doing music, trying to do my craft and art, and I've also been doing a bit of teaching.
Oh.
So, yeah.
And how did that come about? Why teaching?
Well, I thought from when we were in Jamaica, you know, Errol and I, my husband, manager Errol, we were doing a children's TV program, Sing and Learn, which was utilising a lot of our skills, you know, the songwriting, the singing, the play writing or stories, and you know, both of us did the production. So you know, I've always been interested in working with children in one way or the other, and coming here. To be honest, we thought when we were coming here that there was a reggae circuit already in place, and I'd be the first one to, you know, start earning here because I would just fall into this circuit. But then we realised there wasn't any. You know, in fact, to put it bluntly, England is a bit of a reggae graveyard.
This comment came as somewhat of a surprise for us listening, just as much as it was for her back then.
It wasn't as simple as we thought it would be, and so I ended up doing a couple of projects with Jetstar, which is a big record company here, which is now closed. And so I did it was their idea to do reggae country, which I didn't have anything against. I like all sorts of genres of reggae, and I'd done a bit of reggae country really because Someone Loves You Honey is a you know, a country and western flavoured reggae tune. So yeah, so I worked on that project with Jetstar, and we did those 2 albums. And again, we thought, okay, well that should open up some doors for me, but you know, it just didn't do what we hoped for. They've been working on a lot of vintage acts, just re-recording their stuff, and the argument that was given to me was that a lot of those acts, when they first did their recordings, you know, the facilities weren't as advanced as they are now, so they thought there would be, you know, a market then to re-record their material in a more advanced setting. So, but I mean, I don't really fit that bill because when I was recording, the equipment was, you know, reasonably advanced, but I jump at any chance really to do more projects because I think I just need to raise my profile in any positive way I can. So we did that project, and they claim that should be out sometime in May. We'll see how that goes.
So how was the transition after having come to the realization that it wasn't exactly what you had mapped it out to be? Because originally you had one idea of what it should have been coming over here, but that didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. So how did you manage?
Well, this is it. That was literally the case, that we had to do something to keep their heads above water. So Errol is an IT person as well as being involved in music, so he eventually got, you know, into that sort of field. And I just thought, well, what could I do that, you know, I've got a passion for? And so I got into schools here, teaching, but more like what they would call a teaching assistant, because I didn't have a qualification that would be required to actually be a teacher. And then eventually I just really enjoyed doing that, still doing music and art and craft, but you know, I thought it would be something that I could pursue because much as I am always involved in music, you know, it's still a bit precarious, you know, you don't know where it can lead you. So I thought it'd be good to have a basis, you know, and so eventually I decided to go for a teaching degree. Always with the plan that, you know, I would have that to fall back on or just to be doing in between time, you know. So that's what I did. So,
did you miss being on stage all the time?
Well, I still, throughout, I've been on stage. So it wasn't as if we parked my music career. There were still opportunities here and there whenever anything came up.
So you were still dabbling in music and still doing your craft whilst teaching and also raising your daughter.
Yeah.
So lots of people would say, sounds like master of none, jack of all trades. How would you react to that?
think that, sometimes I think that people who have developed one skill and focused all their energies on that one thing, they've become probably, more of a success in that field, and, maybe that is a way to go about it, but I just happen to have an interest in lots of different things, and I want to pursue all the things that I've got an interest in.
And you're extremely talented. I have always been one to kind of refute those beliefs that you can't actually master various things. And so when I meet people who are able to manage so many different aspects of their personality or their talent, I actually respect that. So good for you.
Thank you. Well, you're another one, aren't you? You're another one doing so many different things.
Raising a child in busy London, doing your singing, your crafting, what was that like? How did you manage?
Yeah, she had quite an adjustment period, as I myself had in reverse when I was taken from growing up here and taken to Jamaica when I was 10. That was quite a trauma for me, and so she had it in reverse. She came here at 7 and had to adapt to life here. And, we didn't know when we were coming how long we were going to stay. We didn't come with the idea of staying permanently. I tried to keep her place at Queen's open. But then we decided to give here a go of it. And so, she went through the adjustment of just different behaviour here. She's in Jamaica, she was always a very sort of touchy, affectionate type of child. And I remember when she started school here, I was called in one afternoon to say, could you speak to Gia, because she does a lot of hugging and some of the children don't enjoy it. Okay, sorry that I've got an affectionate child. Work on that.
If you were willing to knock down your walls, wouldn't be on your own at all. Should have been love, could have been love, and you were gonna fall. You ran away just left without a call. There's no need to sit and cry. All you need to do is try. Put aside your fears. You've had all these years, and it'll take a little while. If you don't wanna be alone the rest of your life, open your eyes and realize what is right. Time will pass, you'll never last you if you try. No foolish doubts, asking yourself why. Find a person who's in all your dreams, and you see what we all see, no foolish it seems. Forget the past, remember what lasts. Don't give up on love or you go down the path.
Gia, thank you. Rebel saluters. Love you, man.
Come here a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Hold on to what?
Well, first of all, obviously, you're no longer nervous, right? We have gotten past.
I'm always nervous.
No, listen to me. While you took off the first layer, you take off the next one.
It's just to provide some visual.
Muta said to me, say, God, there are striptease at one. Take it off. No.
But it stops here.
Okay, fine. Now, before you go, just one inquiry. This is your daughter?
She certainly is.
Hello, hi. I'm missing an earring because I'm going to be recording live into my phone, into GarageBand, so I can get a good mix. But yeah, I'm going to sing live and do like a spoken word thing. So, let's go. I love you for so many reasons. Oh, I love you for all seasons. Oh, 2020 was a test, mentally, morally, physically, personally. I found out I hadn't fully seen the darker side of me. This voice disguised as a friend, I let her in and she broke me again. Lost time, didn't think it'd ever end unless I took matters into my hands. Lost my drive, appetite, lost my pride, trading therapy for compression. Found trauma, found pain, found shame, and it exploded in a monster depression. But I'm back and I'm meaty. Best believe that I beat this, but I won't get complacent, cause I know this contender I'll be forever facing. But too often we forget we have to show ourselves some love. You know how much strength it takes to shut the vicious voices up? Vulnerability makes you brave, so you should hold your head high and say, I'm a champion, a hero, for still being here fighting today. Tell yourself, I love you for so many reasons. Oh, 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 I love you for all seasons.
It was a gift from a friend of mine, and I was so surprised. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? Yeah, it is a beautiful picture, actually, really, really beautiful. And I think it's been doctored. Done stuff on the eyes and eyebrows. One of the worst movies ever made, and one of the most fabulous fun. And is now a serious cult classic. It is still being sold now. This is just the Friends War.
So just things like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The positive sides of not actually having the limelight, spotlight shone in your face day in, day out. Being able to walk the streets, not having somebody shout telephone love at you.
Although it has happened on occasion. Depends on what area I'm in.
Ever get tired of it?
Yeah. No, I don't, because it's nice to be acknowledged for what you're doing, you know, and to feel appreciated. Otherwise, what's the point of doing it, you know? So no, I don't mind that at all.
Okay. Walk me through what you're doing now.
So, this is one of my pieces. So it's a doctor bird with the wings forward.
Okay.
And it's made from a sort of epoxy thing called milliput. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
That's a brand. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this material, you discovered it in a class? How did you come about using it?
I was trying clay, and you know, when you drop it, it would break, and I thought, I must be able to find something that works like a clay but is not easily broken. So that's how I went to a hardware shop and saw this product and found out that they use it on, you know, sealing pipes and things like that. It's water resistant and not easily broken. I thought, I'll give that a try.
Maybe you shouldn't give away your secret.
True. Scratch out that
edited. And so you've chosen things that are authentically Jamaican, images that would be identifiably Jamaican.
Yeah, well, all my creativity was born in Jamaica, and so I just carry that with me wherever I go. You know, these are the things that I care about and love. You know, you can see over here I've got all my little akis, because I think that there aren't many things that, well, you know, you can get your little market woman baskets with akis in, but I haven't seen, I mean, I might be wrong, but I haven't seen any aki jewellery or, you know, things like that. So I'm trying to do different things with Jamaican things and promote Jamaica in my little way.
So you're going to be doing it both through this and your music, because this is not your end all and be all now, right?
No, not at all, not at all. I do this out of love, really. I mean, it'd be nice if I can do some pieces that would be appreciated by, you know, a few people, but I'm never going to be mass producing these things, you know. There'll always be something unique and special.
Right.
And music will always be, I think, the first thing for me.
And you're working on a new project now, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Do you care to tell us more about that?
Well, I have been talking about it for a few years because we've been working on the project a long time. But I've read about other artists, you know, that have taken years to come out with their projects. So I just have to think, okay, well, I'm one of those. So it's Passion Fruit. And that project was based on the idea that because we can't, it's not so easy to get the airplay as it used to be. And as I said, a lot of mainstream stations no longer support reggae in a big way, or some in any way. We were trying to figure out what we could do to still be able to promote a product. And we decided that through dance, you know, people going out to dance and hearing things in a club and so forth, or at the dance hall, would be a way to circumvent the radio stations. So this project is a dance-oriented project, dance hall, but with my flavour, you know, so a bit of kind of like reggaeton, dance hall, you know.
Did you feel the need to actually move away from Lovers Rock and country and western, which you do have a few hits in that genre, and more toward the younger feel of dancehall? Is that something that was present in your mind when you started this new project?
In a way, yeah, because I always want to feel that I'm relevant. You know, I don't want to become passé, but I have a love of, as I said, lots of different genre, and I'd always wanted to do dancey type reggae. I mean, Telephone Love was a bit dancey as well. So, and you mentioned Lovers Rock. That's a funny thing because some people mention me in that vein, but I'm not really a Lovers Rock artist because Lovers Rock is a UK-born reggae, and I wasn't here when Lovers Rock was being done. I was in Jamaica, so most of my work was done in Jamaica, which is not Lovers Rock. We don't refer to Jamaican acts as doing Lovers Rock. But I think the reason they call some of what I do Lovers Rock is because they're love songs, you know. But Lovers Rock has a slightly different sound. So,
but you know that you are still very relevant in Jamaica. Whilst I was there back a couple months ago, I mentioned to you that you were following me around. In the pharmacy, there you were. At the gas station, JC again.
It's good to know, and I, you know, thank you to whoever it is that's still remembering me and giving me that promotion. I need it, you know, and I'm really appreciative of it. So it's good to know I'm not forgotten. And as I say, we're working on stuff that we hope that, you know, Jamaica will embrace. I've got other projects coming up as well, so that's Passion Fruit, as I said, has a dancehall flavour, but I would also like to do a project where I'm using some of the real classic rhythms, and I've got some original songs that I've written on some of the classic rhythms. So that's another project. And then I also have a passion for R&B and jazz, so I want to incorporate that with reggae and do a project like that, and I've got songs ready for that project as well. So I hope I'm going to get lots more time to live because I've still got quite a few things to work on, you know.
You and me, stars in our own
stand out as totally Jamaican?
Totally Jamaican. Well, like when you turned up here today with the presents, because other friends who are Jamaican that come to visit me, you can count on it. They're going to be coming with something, and they always say, "We can't walk, we were too long." So that's definitely Jamaican, because you invite English people around and, "Hello, how are you?"
It's not a part of what they recognize as something that's necessary.
No.
Right. I remember once you had told me a story about you standing in a shop or a bakery, waiting to be. Tell us.
Oh, that's to do with what? What would I say that's to do with? Respect,
Jamaicanism.
manners.
Jamaicanism.
But that's something I have to say, that here people show a little bit more respect to another person in some ways, and so in that setting, yes, I was in this bakery where the lady serving was behind some chicken wire, and she was on the phone, and I was politely, because I had a bit of English upbringing, politely waiting for her to see that I was there.
To acknowledge you?
Yes. And I waited, and she was on, and then another lady came in behind me and said, "7 1 bread there," and the lady just picked up the bread, handed it to her, took the money, and I'm like, "Hang on a minute, what about me? I'm here." She said, "You don't want to serve." I thought, okay, I get the picture.
Exactly.
Right.
So to actually have a different perspective on that, the fact is that she was saying, you want something done,
you got to talk up.
That's correct.
You just stand there like a piece of furniture. So yeah, that's the Jamaican way. Yeah, quite different from the English way. And
one more.
I was thinking that, in Jamaica, everybody has like at least 2 names. I don't know if you do, but
I do.
So, you'll have like, this is Winston, but then call him Errol or something. It's always
and one has absolutely nothing to do with
Why do they call it? Is that his middle name? No, they just call him Errol. Or this guy that was working, when I was in Jamaica, I was also trying to work on some furniture design, small pieces, that didn't quite ever get off the ground fully, but it would have been a good project. And this young man I met, he said, I can't remember what his real name was. Let's say he was Winston. He said, then call me Sax. And I said, oh, is that because you play the sax then? He said, no, but I'm a little weird in. I said, oh, right. Yes, of course. Sax, yes. But yeah, that's really typical Jamaican. And making up the name for your child is also very Jamaican. Here, you know, like when I teach in class, some of the classes, it would be, you have to say Emma P, Emma T, because you've got so many Emmas, or Emily, or Sarah, or these sorts of names. They revisit them again and again. And I think, I even say to people I'm closer to here, why do you do that? Why, a child is such a unique, special gift. Why would you pick a name that hundreds of other people have for your child? But it's just the custom here. But whereas in Jamaica, you've got to, like when I had my daughter, I remember Pam saying, so you're going to call her Eroline? Not quite Eroline. We'll come up with something though. Should we order food for you or not? Would you eat? You think you should eat now or soon?
Only if they're going to come now.
It's not going to be now, is it?
No, when I say now, I don't mean like now.
It's going to be like, with, let's say 40 minutes.
40 minutes is good. Oh, look at that.
So, as soon as I give you this ring, I'm going to go and call up the people and order the food. These are... Oh, those are Dr. Birds.
Oh, look at that. It's just amazing. You're just
one of those then.
Yeah, you're just so good.
Our tagline is hug by smoke, kiss by fire.
Right.
So that's essentially, in a nutshell, what we do with the ring.
And is there a secret ingredient? You don't have to tell me what it is, but is there something that you definitely need to put into rib cage ribs?
Yes, there are several things that we have to put into it, but I think the main ingredient is, really passion.
wow.
Yeah. So I think that's the main ingredient, you know? To be passionate enough about it to make it whatever it is. Much smaller, much different in, you know, its delivery. And pretty much we're encouraged by the, you know, a lot of our old customers are going back in slowly but surely. A lot of new customers. We have never existed in this space in Kingston 6 before. So it's there's a lot of new things happening with this location.
Essentially, the first rib cage, it was, well, go back a little. The concept for rib cage actually was something that I always had in my mind from when I was a teenager, right? And like 13, 14, because we used to live close to Tony Roma's in Florida. So we always used to pass it and I always used to say, oh, one of these days I'm going to open a rib place in Jamaica. And fast track now, we moved back to Jamaica with my father. We were in the trading business, equipment and hardware. And the opportunity came up for Constant Spring Road because it was previously the bistro and they closed the business. And at the time, the landlord was looking for you know, a new tenant, and I thought about it and I said, well, you know what, maybe I'll take it. So that is how we essentially started, you know, came together and said, okay, we're gonna, you know, came up with a name. The food, I always knew ribs would have been a part of it, but then of course I had to kind of like know, you know, I'm self-taught, so I had to kind of figure out the other things, the fish, the chicken, what are the other things we're gonna offer. We couldn't just sell pork alone.
Well, you could.
Yeah, well, we could, yeah.
Okay, so here's the money question. Without giving away your secret sauce, what's the process? And does it have to have beer?
Beer. Okay. No, definitely no beer. Essentially, our process, we smoke. We smoke the ribs first. So we marinate, we smoke, and then we finish on high flame.
Alcoholic beverage, your top three.
Top three. Well, I love Southern Comfort. That's yeah. So that's at the top for me. After that, there's a cocktail that myself and my wife we enjoy when we go out. We want to say we have created it. We call it the 3G. So it's Stone Ginger Wine, Gin, and Ginger Ale. So we call it the 3G. And that is, yeah? Well, we'll see what happens, you know? And third, a lovely wet sugar lemonade. Like classic, you know, old school, and with the civil orange and the regular or traditional Jamaican limes. Yeah, so what people call wash, but a little bit more than that.
4 favorite places to go. Doesn't have to be local. Doesn't have to be foreign. You choose.
Right. That one is, you know? Yes, you know? I mean, I travel, but I'm not a world traveler like some, like others, but, you know? You know what? Places that I will go, that I could go back to any day and probably live. Turks and Caicos, right? The beautiful beaches and just the environment there. I love St. Elizabeth, right? Port Antonio. And up in the hills, in the hills of St. Andrew, like Woodford, Peters Rock. Yeah, love those places. The people, the environment, the weather, the bountiful produce and, you know, ingredients that we can get there even makes it that much nicer.
Right, so there have been 24 Bond movies, and of all of them, there is no argument. the most iconic Bond has got to be Sean Connery.
Absolutely.
What was that like working with him?
Loved it. Loved working with him because we were immediately mischief, Mr. and Mrs. Mischief, literally. And it was literally nudge, nudge, wink, wink all the way. I mean, and it continued into the next film that we did. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
So, what would you say is the essence of your joie de vivre?
Being Jamaican. Growing up in Jamaica and traveling, actually. Traveling, definitely, and having an incredible childhood in Jamaica. Really brilliant childhood. I really did. I mean, I had an incredible family, particularly on my mother's side. There were 7 children, and my grandfather was Big Daddy, and we adored him, absolutely adored him. And he had money, and he was, you know, one of those families. And every Sunday, the entire family would gather, and there was never a question of whether or not you're going to be there. We could hardly wait to get there, to have a ice cream, homemade ice cream, and a homemade cookie. And also being around cousins and aunts and uncles, it was, I loved it. I had a really superb childhood, really lovely.
Yeah, close to your family, I suppose.
Yes, yeah. Particularly with my mother, and also my father, but particularly with my mother, on my mother's side.
Marcus Garvey.
Do you want to expound on that one?
You know what? As you get older and you become more aware of what happens in the world and all of that, and you know, I'm not necessarily, I don't study Garvey, but I understand the essence of what he was trying to achieve. And when you think about what he was doing back then, it was monumental. It's like, you know, it's the type of thing that we should never forget, and everybody needs to know about it. Definitely Marley. I always say I wouldn't be cooking any pork, right? And outside of that, Norma Shirley.
I was just going to say, you have to put a woman in there.
Yeah. Norma Shirley. Yes. She was, you know, I mean, I had the privilege of working with her, and you know, and being in partnership with her with another restaurant we had in Port Antonio. So that's where that whole Port Antonio connection, you know, lies with me, is really because we operated a restaurant there. So, you know, we got to know the people.
Still be seen at Red Bones.
Definitely.
And she was an amazing.
Yeah, man. She, there's no equal. Yeah, let me tell you.
So the English part of your nature stands out a lot, with a part of it being in your accent, but also how much you love to
It's
drink.
funny you say that, because here people say, where are you from? You've got an accent. Where are you from? And then I say, Jamaica. So I'm in the middle. In Jamaica is English woman. But over here it's like, where are you from? Because it's certainly not English with that accent.
Well, you do have a bit of a lilt.
Yeah.
And you love to drink tea. When you think, when you think of English, you think
I have
tea.
to say, yes, true. But when in Jamaica, when I was growing up, well, even as a young adult, I remember working with musicians and stuff. They'd say, "Oh, English woman, they love your tea," and I said, "No, actually, I don't like tea. I never drink it at the time, you know." I said, "No, I don't like tea just because I've got a slightly English accent and I lived there for a while. No, I don't." But over time, I had a problem with my stomach at one point. You know, it was because of some previous surgery I'd had, and I was having lots of gas. And I thought that, you know, having something hot would help this situation. It turned out that I actually had a blockage of my intestines, but that was years later. I got that sorted out. But in the meantime, Errol would always say, "All right, let me get you some ginger tea," or, you know, and then I got into the English tea, and then it became a thing. Yes, I'll have a cup of tea. And now I am a tea totaler. Total tea. Everywhere I go, people say, oh, yeah, you want tea. All right, yeah.
3 people you'd like to have tea with?
That's an interesting question, because why would I be having tea with that? I mean, I'm getting analytical, but if I'm having somebody for tea, why? Is it somebody I already know well, or someone I'm trying to get to know? I wasn't quite sure where to go with that idea. But the only thing I could think of was, I'm very interested in, like, somebody like Michael Jackson. I'm really fascinated by him as an artist. He was just out of this world, but then he had that real weird side to him, and I just would love to pry into him a bit more, of whether it's over a cup of tea or what, I don't know, but and Bob also was very fascinating. I never got to meet him, and I regret that. I'd love to have spoken with him myself and sort of suss him out and get my own view on him. And
so these are 2 people who have passed. Is there anybody living that
This is the thing. When I was thinking about it, this is not really anybody living. Well, actually, this is taking it on a completely different note. But there's a member of my family that unfortunately was killed by her husband, and I really would. I know it's not ever going to happen, but I would love to sit down with him and ask him what happened, what went wrong, why,
On that note, then, what would you say to a woman who finds herself in that sort of situation where she's being abused?
What would I say to them?
No, yes, any woman. You're a strong woman, you are an independent woman, you have a family and you have to contribute to that. And you are in the... I don't call myself
that independent.
No?
No, I always think that I couldn't manage without Earl. I always think that, and I say that to him. You don't know what you'll do in a situation, so I suppose many people might feel that, and when you're in that situation, you just have to cope, so you do somehow, But there are lots of women who are being abused and they stay in the situation, and then you read on that and they say, well, some women, it's like they can't break away from it because there's something in that they need, something in the relationship they need, so they stay with it. Otherwise, why would they? Why would the same person stay with someone who's abusive? I don't know enough about it. I'd love to speak more to people who are being abused and find out more about them, the way they see things, to analyse it more. I don't know, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Lastly, where do you want to see reggae music go?
Well, Coffee has done really well lately, and congratulations to her, and she's doing some good positive stuff. She's got a positive, clean image, persona. I'd love for reggae to be seen as mainstream again. I think it was such a blow to reggae, and in particular in this country, that it's no longer looked at in that. It's seen as a sort of ethnic art form, and I think it's because of that, it makes it so much harder to get anywhere with it. You have to be just having the very large connections behind you to make that happen, and most of us don't have the big labels behind us, so it's...
I have one more. Fondest memory of being back home?
Fondest memory of being back home? Well, I've got good friends there that I miss sitting down with them and just reasoning, and I used to love going to the beach and having the fried fish and festival, which just cannot be duplicated here, cannot be, or anywhere else in the world. I miss that. Yeah.
Okay. That's a wrap.
Soft, our muscles weak, easily bruised, easy to
passe.
So, but you know that you are still very relevant in Jamaica.